Minecraft has changed a lot over the years. I think we can all agree on that much. But it's still the same game inherently, so I'd like to take some time, go back and look at how it's changed. That being said, I spent 100 days in Minecraft, but I updated the version every 10 days. This is how it went down. Day 1, I could tell you exactly what I did day 1, but that's pretty self-explanatory, so instead I'm going to go into what this playthrough is more so going to be instead of what I'm doing, which is punching trees and whatnot. But yeah, this playthrough is more so going to be about trying to get at least a highlight or snippet of every update that we're going through. Because we're going through a lot of updates and we don't exactly have a whole lot of time for each one. So as opposed to spending 10 days trying to build one thing, I'd like to, portion out my time a little bit better. Maybe with a little less building, but you get the idea. I can't even lie though, the spawn we got was kind of garbage because we're on a deserted island once again. So we're going to go ahead and just kill a bunch of animals, get some good food, and we're going to head out after that. Also got some pumpkins, and they're cool, I guess, but they don't have a whole lot of value on their own, but I'll take them nonetheless so I can at least plant them later. And I found a small cave that led directly to a mob spawner, and I would love that, except it's got no loot, so it's kind of pointless for me, but I'll take the mossy cobblestone, because that's free. I suppose in terms of resources, day 1 actually isn't going that bad, because we've got some sugarcane, we've got pumpkins, and we've got mossy cobblestone, and those aren't necessarily progression items, but they're still really good to have. Also struck me as kind of weird how in 1.0 you can get out of a boat, but you can never actually pick the boat back up, like you just have to break it and make another one. It's just kind of weird to me. Had to end day 1 off with this really scenic view, because just got a really good angle, good height. Hey man, just a good view. Not having a repeat of the last 100 days where I was literally starving right out the gate. So we're going to go ahead and just kill a bunch of animals and we're going to keep moving. There's not a whole lot of time. I mean, we only get 10 days per version, but I'm going to really appreciate this 1.0 generation because I feel like you just don't see this type of stuff anymore in modern Minecraft. I mean, you can have like an amplified world type, but it's different. Didn't take extremely long, but I did actually find a spot where I wanted to make my base at. So we're going to go ahead and start terraforming here. The only real potential issue with where we're setting up is that there's not a whole lot of flat land, I guess you could say. There's like, it's very hilly, it's very slanted. It's not exactly an open field. Not to mention there's also not that many trees right next to us, so we're gonna have to travel a little bit out just to get some wood, which is really unfortunate. Can't really build a house without stone though, so we're gonna go ahead and get mining. Alright, so we got a mine shaft and a ravine on our hands. That's pretty cool actually. I do need to make sure to plant some sugarcane before we go on like a super lengthy expedition though, because at some point the crafting recipe isn't gonna be so favorable, so I'd rather make a ton of books now than later. And with leather not being necessitated in book crafting recipes, that also means I can actually just make leather armor for myself instead of saving it for the entire playthrough. Not even that I need armor anyway, I have blocking and that already reduces your damage taken by like 50%, so I'd be good anyway, but when's the last time you've ever seen anybody make leather armor? Alright, I actually got a zombie spawner with chests in it this time instead of literally nothing. The loot's exactly what you'd expect to get out of a dungeon, but we're in the early game, so I can't really complain. Yeah, but other than the dungeon, I haven't really found anything interesting down here. It would be just such a shame if I found diamonds in the next clip. That would just be so awful, right? Right, guys? And look at that, we found diamonds. Wow. Who saw that coming, guys? Right? Yeah, but jokes aside, I actually wasn't trying to find diamonds right there. I just kind of went mining for iron and I got diamonds, so I'll take it. And oh my goodness, it's a fat vein too. Ew. Yo, the mine shaft is kind of popping off because we got some melon seeds too, so we really don't have to worry about food. And another, albeit smaller, vein of diamonds. Hey man, beggars can't be choosers, and as long as it's diamonds, I'll take it. I feel like this is a canon event for like every Minecraft playthrough, but like you always find these really nice open caves with like lava pools, and I don't know, maybe they're substantial, maybe they're not, but they are at least very nice to explore. But after spending multiple days in the mines, I should probably build a house because we're like what, 6 days in and I don't have a house yet, which is kind of an issue. I'm trying not to be too like samey with how I build my house, so I'm gonna try to make this one multiple stories just because that's a little bit different than how I normally build my houses. Usually I'll just keep it one story, but I'll experiment a little bit. Also thought it'd be a good idea to actually give myself some real armor instead of, you know, keeping leather armor on. Obligatory sugarcane harvest here. really trying not to make my house just like a straight up cube with no decor on the outside, I guess you could say. No design on the walls, because that's kind of lame. So I'm going to try to experiment, see how this goes. But with building a house, that also means I need a lot of wood. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a diamond axe, and that'll just help us a little bit in the long run, save us a lot of time. But yeah, like I said before, there's not a whole lot of trees around the local area, so I'm trying to plant a lot of saplings just to make it to where we don't have to travel like 1,000 blocks out to get trees. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but you get the idea. You can see the general idea I have going on, especially with the doors. You can see the log borders, and I think that actually looks pretty nice. As for the windows, I know I want them to be on the second floor, but how I want to execute that, I'm not entirely sure yet. It would probably help in building a house if I actually had enough cobblestone to do that. You'd think after mining for 3 days I'd have enough, but I didn't break that much stone, so back to the mines we go. Hey, found another zombie spawner while I was down there. I'll take it. Oh, waiter. More mid-loot, please. Thank you. Kept mining down just to get more cobblestone, and I actually hit bedrock. I kind of forgot the Y level wasn't as deep. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be enough, but 5 stacks of cobblestone seems like a pretty substantial amount, so we're going to get back to working on the house. At first, I was really just marking where I was going to put the windows with logs at, but that actually just turned into a border that would separate the top and bottom floors. Which I'm glad it turned out like that, because it adds a little bit of separation with the whole walls being made out of cobblestone thing. Started experimenting with stairs on the side of the house. I like the concept. I don't know if I'll use stairs, though. And use stairs I did not, because we're going to go ahead and use slabs. They just look a little bit better since they let the wood protrude through instead of covering it up completely. Alright, for real this time. I'm actually marking where I want the windows to be. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in that little gap right there. I'm not having them be one connected big window. They're going to be separate. And with there being a lake right next to the house, I figured it'd be nice if I had a little balcony that just overlooked it. Not that it has to be huge or anything, I just think it'd be nice. Alright, back to punching trees at the start of day 10. In case you didn't notice, I kind of ran out of wood last night, so we need more of that. And with my newfound wood, I'm actually able to complete the balcony real quick. At least the border of it. I've also been meaning to do the floor so I can actually get around to that now that I have logs. Of course, I can't leave the balcony suspended in the air. Well, I mean, I could, but it just looks better if I add some support. Putting stairs on the bottom of the support beams just so they mesh with the environment a little bit better. And I would imagine I don't want to build up and break into my own house every single time I want to get upstairs, so we're going to go ahead and add a staircase. Still harvesting sugarcane. Want to stockpile as much as I can before we have to update and use leather. Oh my goodness, bro. This crafting recipe is so dumb. Like, no wonder they got rid of this. Still trying to plant trees around the base. I have some spruce saplings, so I'm going to go ahead and put these down just so I can have a little bit more variety in my wood. One of the great things about this version, and look, I love customization and small little things that you can change, but man, it is so convenient that I don't have to orientate how my wood is placed. I can just place it and it's always facing upwards. And it's back to mining because I need more cobblestone for the house. Who'd thunk? Dude, strip mining is just the way. Like, it's actually insane how good it is in the early versions. Also found a nice little cave on top of the diamonds I found. At one point, I'm not going to be in a mine shaft. Not this point, but at some point, I'll not explore a mine shaft when I'm mining. This Enderman just got his head stuck on the 2-block gap, but that's fine by me. And I got an ender pearl out of it. Let's go. Almost got a music disc here. I mean, it was like literally the perfect setup, but this guy just realized he had free will and decided to jump up a block and explode. Back on the surface, and I don't know how common or rare it is, but I swear I don't ever see any like dark forests like this. I think that's like a 1.0 exclusive thing, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the roof now. I mean, it's not gonna take a whole lot of time to fill in the walls, so might as well tackle the thing that's gonna take more time. And surprisingly, the roof actually didn't take me that long to finish either, because if I had slabs, it'd be done in one day, but unfortunately I just didn't have any, so I'll handle that tomorrow. Decided I'd actually put to use the rails I've been picking up so far, and even though I don't have any powered rails, I don't need them, because I'm only going down and not going back up. I swear I'm not going on another 3-day mining expedition, I just needed a little bit of cobblestone. Yeah, you're starting to be able to see the final product now, and it doesn't look bad. At least to me. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think it looks okay. Yeah, putting the rails down might have just been one of the best ideas I've ever had. Like, it's just so much faster. I will say that I don't like how flat the front of the house looks, so I'm gonna try to add some stairs and see if that helps with the depth issue. I'm not crazy about it or anything, but it doesn't look bad, so I'll keep it. I do think adding a little connector bit to the side will make it kind of mesh with the house a little bit better, make it look less abrupt, if that makes any sense, but I think it's a good addition. I do think a diamond shovel is in order as well, because in case you haven't noticed, I'll be doing a lot of terraforming. This land isn't exactly what I would call pristine for living. Hey, finally got the windows in. I think I can officially say that this house is now done, aside from a couple minor things. Of course, you guys already know I had to put a painting in my house, but apparently it's just really easy to duplicate paintings. I walked in with one and I came out with two. Okay. Don't mind me, just still farm sugarcane because the book crafting recipe is extremely broken. And speaking of book crafting recipe, because they're so easy to make, I can actually use bookshelves for decoration because I don't have to hoard them. Made this killer bed frame to go with my bed, and I think my only gripe with it is that it's a little bit big, but I mean, what else am I going to put in my room? If I ever get the chance, I think I'll have to change up the cobblestone corners because I just don't like how well they mesh with the floor. It doesn't stand out enough. So I'm thinking we have this really nice hill next to our house, and it's like conveniently small enough and big enough to make a portal right into, so I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and make it like a little overgrown portal. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to sit here and hold left click for the next 5 or 6 minutes, just getting enough obsidian, so yeah. Seeing as we're in the side of a mountain, I am going to fully commit to the grown overlook, so we're going to throw in some mossy cobblestone and maybe even some normal cobblestone. I also think it would be cool if we had like a pair of dilapidated pillars. I don't know, that'd just be like pretty cool. Like there was something there at one point, but now there isn't. Overall, this looks pretty good. The top kind of looks a little bit naked, so we're gonna go ahead and put some trees on top just to fill that space. A little awkward putting trees up here. Not a whole lot of room, but we'll make it work. I also think it's kind of insane how we're at day 19 and we don't have a farm yet, so I'm gonna start terraforming so we can get one. Don't ask me why I made the first plot of land have 4 tiles instead of 3 like the rest of them. Just, I'll fix it later. Of course, with any good farm, we have to have a path going around it, so we're going to get that set up as well. I don't want the edges or the corners to be super sharp, which is why I have the wood and the cobblestone, but I don't think that's going to fit. So we'll keep the kind of indent that we have, but it won't have the wood and cobblestone. I also came to the conclusion that I don't like having a 3-block wide path. That just looks wrong. So we're going to go ahead and reduce it back to 2, like it should be. Which in itself kind of sucks because I already put down the normal stone, so now we're just going to have more cobblestone. But honestly, I can't really complain. I feel like I have to do infinitely more terraforming than I did in the last 100 days, because just the place where we chose to live is really not optimal, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I really don't mind. It's just, you know, yeah. No sense in waiting for the melons and pumpkins to grow, so I'm just going to go ahead and bone meal them so I get them right out the gate. I haven't really been picking up gravel a whole lot up until this point, so we actually needed to go find some more. Luckily, there is tons to spare in the mines. Barring a couple minor details, we are now done with the farm, which thankfully didn't take too terribly long, but it kind of took a little second. Gotta make sure to connect the path to the house, and a little continuity in the base never hurt anybody. Also just thought about it, but it'd probably be a little cool if I had like some sort of boulder next to the portal. I don't know, it just adds to that extra overgrown, kind of untouched feeling. I'm not gonna lie though, it definitely would have been better if I had more stone to work with, but unfortunately I didn't, so... I would like to change up the wood tip I'm using at some point, so we're gonna go out of our way to get some birch, just because I don't want to sit with oak for the entire playthrough. And while we're out, I would also like to try to find a village, because we're in version 1.4 now, so that actually means there's a reason to go explore and not just sit in the same place. Son. I'm crying. Hey, big jungle alert. Let's go. I don't think there's actually jungle temples yet, so unfortunately that means there's not a super big reason to be here, at least for me, because I really do like jungle temples, but we can at least still get seeds and saplings and whatnot. Which is exactly what I spent way too long doing for the majority of day 26, because oh my goodness, I just could not get saplings to drop. We're out of that piece though on day 27, and we found a desert village on our way back. It's pretty nifty. Oh my goodness, villages have a reason to exist now. I can actually trade with villagers. This is nuts. Albeit the trades here are kind of garbage. I can't actually trade for emeralds here. I can only buy with emeralds, so that kind of sucks, but at least it's something. And we have access to potatoes now, which is great because that means we're not going to be solely relying on watermelon. Back at the base, day 28, and I would like to start building a cafe. Not that I can guarantee that it'll look good or anything, but I'd like to have somewhere to store my crops and whatnot. And with all the time we spent getting different types of wood, I figured now would be a good time to put them to use. Well, that hype was short-lived because we already need more spruce wood. Okay. I mean, yeah, I could kill these creepers, or I could just let them kill themselves and hold right-click and take no damage at all. I'm gonna opt for the second option. Look, I told y'all, a diamond axe is gonna be a good investment. I mean, for one, it's almost broken, and two, wood is like one of the most valuable resources that we need and we just don't have enough of. I got a nice view of the sunset while I was running back. Not that I stopped to look at it or anything, but it was just nice seeing it over the field. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate spruce and birch into this one build, and I think they go together pretty nice. It's just, I don't know. It's an issue of depth and managing the wood colors. Alright, so it may or may not be the final product, but we've got the walls as birch and the border as spruce, and neither one of them is too in your face or too overpowering of the other, so I think this is a pretty good balance. Went strip mining for more stone, and oh yeah, yes sir, your boy found a big crispy vein of diamonds. But yeah, like I was saying before, I pretty much just spent the rest of day 30, you know, just trying to get more stone. Crawled out of the mines day 31, and the world just doesn't feel like rendering for a second. I thought it would, you know, be like a really quick instant fix, but just kind of lingered, so fine by me. Just thought it was cool. With all the stone I have, I'm definitely going to want to have more furnaces as well, and so I'm in no short supply of stone, so we made two while we were at it. And now we get to the main reason for why I wanted all of the stone in the first place, which is the roof. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do this, but I'd like to make it out of smooth stone slabs. I think that would be a good idea. I'd like to have an extended roof going over the front of the build, and in hindsight, it probably wouldn't have looked bad if I just made it 1 to 2 blocks big, but unfortunately, I didn't do that, so it looks not good. Zebra, kind of a niche tech, because I kind of forget that you can place strings down and then put stuff on top of that. But hey man, might be the method. In concept, I think this was a good idea, but in execution, I think the carpet just isn't thick enough to give the look I'm going for. But either way, we have carpet now, so I'm going to go ahead and decorate my room a little bit. I don't know, just it fills up the floor, adds a little bit of color, makes it a little bit more homey. I like it. I'm thinking we have just a 1 block extension on the roof going around at least like the first half of the building. I think that'd probably look pretty good. I also think the stone slab, like, full blocks are a little bit too repetitive on the top, so we're gonna replace those with cobblestone. I don't know, it got too repetitive for me. And there we go. I think this actually looks a lot better, though, because the cobblestone is a nice little change of pace, considering that the little 1 block extension is made out of smooth stone, and then the roof itself is also made of the same thing, so. If you guys have ever seen any, like, classic Minecraft building, I feel like you see a lot of sandstone floors, and I've yet to actually use sandstone as a major building component, so we're gonna go ahead and do that for the floor in the cafe. Yeah, overall, I think this honestly matches the aesthetic I'm going for pretty well. And this also marks the outside of the building being completely done, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, the inside, that's a different story, but that shouldn't take too long. Of course, we can't forget to add the path going straight to the building. It's basically a necessity at this point. I'd have to imagine having a counter in your cafe would have to be a must-have, right? Dude, it does not matter what or how I build, I'm always going to have an uneven, off-centered painting. And it sucks because I really like the big paintings in this game. Busting out the old building techniques for this one. Putting the pressure plates on top of fences, you already know. Even if this mainly is just for storage and it's a glorified storage room, I'm going to go ahead and put down a furnace and a crafting table. Doesn't hurt to have them, and they're good decoration. Evening out the land a little bit, and trying to fill in some gaps in the ground just so I can have a fountain, because I think having a fountain would be cool, and it's been a while since I've made one, so it's way past time to have one. And that's exactly what we're doing day 36. We're making a fountain. I wanted this one to be a little bit more, I don't want to say grandiose, because that implies that it's going to be this big grand thing, but I didn't want it to be as small as I usually make my fountains, so I'll make it a little bit bigger, but not by much. And while we have gold ore, we're going to go ahead and speckle some in the fountain where the water's going to be, because, you know, people throw coins into fountains, so figured gold ore would fit pretty nicely. I also think it would be cool to have like a path going around the fountain that connects to every other path in the base. So the fountain is like a center point of the base. I think that would look pretty cool. But for the path, I'd like to change it up instead of using gravel, stone, cobblestone, you know, the normal stuff. I actually like to use brick. I haven't used brick yet. I don't know. We just gotta show a little appreciation. It's a good block anyway, so. Also found out that there was a village right next to our base, so that's pretty cool. I mean, I won't be trading. Trading just kind of takes too much setup to do, and we don't have a lot of time in each version, so I can't really slow down, but, you know, I would. I'm just not going to. Animated snow golem. Look at him. He's so friend-shaped. Slight issue, I didn't anticipate the amount of snow he would leave lying around, so yeah, I'm gonna have to clean that up at some point. But I'll do that later. Right now we're gonna prepare for a mining expedition, because I don't know, I feel like it's been a little bit since we've been to the mines, so let's get on with it. Look, look, look. I've got the method on lock. I'm mining the coal slash stone underneath the rail so I get the block and the rail at the same time. Of course I can't skimp out on the mossy cobblestone. It's the only place I can get it, so I might as well take it. Well, that was a pretty short-lived mining trip, but we're working on the border of the fountain now. We've got our bricks, so we're good to go. You know, I think it looks pretty good. In hindsight, I probably should have done one layer of brick on the inside and then a layer of cobblestone, or like a layer of stone bricks on the outside. And then that would have looked a little bit better, but doesn't look bad. Oh my goodness, we can place stairs upside down now. We're so locked. I can't help but notice that my snowman is just kind of gone. I mean, like, I didn't kill him. I didn't see him, like, walk off into water and get himself killed. He's just kind of gone now, so that kind of sucks, but okay. This guy really just did not want to vibe me. I mean, like, I looked straight at him. He got mad, got unmad for some reason, and then TP'd away. Okay. Fair play. Alright, so I'm thinking we're going to build an animal stable right next to our farm. I think that's the most appropriate place that I could probably build one of those, so unfortunately, we're going to have to fill all of this in because, you know, this land isn't exactly flat, but it'll be fine. We'll get it. And believe you me, I was going to fill in all of the hole, except I realized that would take entirely too long, so we're just going to put torches underneath so mobs don't spawn, and we're just going to fill in the top. Alright, we're in version 1.8 now, and my skin actually works. Gotta go to that. I do think we're going to go to the nether a bit early. Usually I like to try to go by day 50, but I just don't feel like that we have to wait till day 50, so we're going to go ahead and go now. And there's also going to be chests in the nether fortress, so that's a little extra incentive to go. Oh sheesh, wait, this is the update where there's different types of wood slabs now, so the original slab is just a missing texture. That's awesome. It's so weird. I don't know why it gets sized up whenever you go into F5, but I don't care. It's crazy, bro. This has to be like the best nether spawn I've ever gotten. Like, we're literally on top of the fortress. Okay. Dude, and we got blaze spawners right next to the portal with the perfect generation, so they have like roofs over their heads. So they can't fly away. Oh my goodness. We're actually so locked in. Having two spawners right next to each other is kind of crazy. I mean, not like it's entirely useful because I think you have to be near them for them to spawn, but, you know, just kind of crazy nonetheless. Yeah, but now that we have our blaze rods and we don't have to worry about the nether, I'm thinking we have a more open design for the stable. That's what I'm thinking. And we'll have like 4 pins at least. Computer, insert the clip of me terraforming. For serious though, I'm thinking we're going to have a walkway down the middle, and then we're going to have 4 pins on each side, which sounds a little big, so that's prone to being tweaked, but that's just the idea for now. Remember how I said that was prone to getting tweaked? Yeah, this is the part where we tweak the idea. So we're going to have the stable be horizontal as opposed to vertical, and we're just going to have 4 pins, because 8 is a little bit too much. Also, again, with the new world generation, because it's 1.8, I would like to explore a little bit, and the nether is going to be the fastest way to do that. So that's also another benefit of actually going to the nether before day 50. I don't know why I didn't realize this sooner, but the items are actually 3D now as opposed to 2D sprites. So that's nice. Try to leave a little dirt trail in the nether so I could actually figure my way back out. And, am I lost? No. I'm just taking a little longer than I expected. Thought I got robbed of my obsidian right here, but I actually got it back, so that's good. I didn't really have 1 extra obsidian on me, just in case that happened. Hey, and we're over an ocean. That actually works out pretty well for us, because I wanted to find an ocean monument anyway, so I'll try to explore and find that while we're out. Took the start of day 46 to try to find an ocean monument, and actually didn't take too long, so I made sure to get a screenshot of the coordinates. We'll come back here later. Alright, took a good majority of the day, but we're finally back at the base. And of course, after being out for so long, we need to replenish our food, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest these melons while I'm here. Given that we now know where an ocean monument is, we're going to want better armor, because iron armor is not going to cut it. An ocean monument is like the most dangerous structure in the game, barring woodland mansions. Not that we need it, but we're going to go ahead and set up a temporary netherwart farm just because we want a good, consistent flow of netherwart, because we're definitely going to need a lot of potions for this. I also feel like with how many versions we're updating to, my thoughts are like all over the place, so I'm just going to write down a couple of the goals that I have while I'm, thinking about it. And we're going back to the mines because we need a full set of diamond armor and we don't have a helmet yet, so let's go get that. You talk about an absolutely massive vein of diamonds. We don't have to worry about not having a helmet anymore because we're good now, so. Also still need to pick up gold because it's 1.8. So after the next update, we won't be able to make golden apples anymore, or at least the enchanted golden apples. So while we're here, I still need to do that. And we have another ender pearl under our belt. I'll take it. The less we have to grind later, the better. All things considered, this is a pretty cool cave. I mean, the way this mineshaft generated is a little whack, but that kind of adds to how cool it is, if that makes any sense. Alright, we're back on the surface, and we're kinda close to base. I mean, I think we are, because the land kinda looks a little similar. But I don't know, we'll find out. Holy, we are just rolling in iron, and having 5 furnaces kinda helps with that. And we now officially have a full set of diamond armor. I'm gonna try to get a diamond sword before we go tackle the ocean monument, because I'm gonna want as much damage as I can have. But other than that, we're pretty good. Apparently, I didn't have an apple already, like, good to go, so we're gonna have to break a bunch of trees just to get a single apple. And break a bunch of trees we did, because we basically killed half of a forest, and we only got 2 apples. Okay. I'm probably never gonna eat it or actually use it, but now we have a gapple in it. It'll just kinda sit there and look pretty. It might be a hot take, but I actually don't mind the attack cooldown. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I can't really spam click my sword anymore, but I didn't really do that anyway. I think the big thing, probably, with this update is that I can't block anymore, and also, ew, auto jump, ew. Seeing as I'm definitely gonna need water breathing to go tackle the ocean monument, I need a pufferfish, and that didn't exactly take a whole lot of time to get. And there we go, just like that, we have water breathing. Sweet. Went back to the nether to get some glowstone. Need some to make potions with, and also it's just a good block. And I need carrots, because I'd probably like to be able to see underwater, and I'm not going to be able to use torches, so night vision it is. Made an exit portal, and I ended up in an ice plains biome. Totally forgot igloos were a thing, but I guess those are here now with 1.10. Usually they're supposed to have like a little laboratory under the floor, but man, I guess it just didn't generate because I could not find it. And I came to the realization that traveling in the overworld as opposed to the nether, while being a little safer, is going to take way longer, so we're back to the nether. This is the one thing I don't like about the nether though, it's highly untraversable, like the environment is just awful to try to get through, so I'm just going to mine straight to my base, I don't care. Gonna make sure to plant at least 1 carrot so I can have a sustainable source. And just like that, we are brewing night vision as we speak. May or may not have forgotten to hit the record button at the start of day 54, but I have all these potions now. That's pretty much what I've been doing the whole day. Also, weird little bug that happens, minecarts have a different name when you pick them up. I was kind of baffled when I saw it for the first time, but I don't know, it's kind of cool. Anyway, we're back in the mines though. I'm really just trying to get 1 single diamond so I can make a diamond sword before we go tackle the ocean monument. And since we still aren't at the caves and cliffs update, I'm just going to go ahead and strip mine because it's just too easy. Mined into a little cave, and fortunately for us, I found literally just 1 diamond. Which is kind of an oddity, considering that, they usually spawn in veins of like 5 or 6. But, yeah, I'll take 1. That works. I'm really not used to having, like, no blocking feature, because normally I feel like I can play so recklessly, but now I just have to play it safe. I can't just hold right-click and take no damage anymore. Alright, but seeing as we now have our 2 diamonds that we need, it's high time that we make a diamond sword. Really just spending a lot of time on day 55 preparing my inventory, because if I die in the ocean monument, I am not getting my stuff back. It is going to be way too difficult to get in there. You already know I had to flash the fit a little bit. Sheesh! Kind of looking clean, I can't even lie. One of the cool things about having a world that you constantly update is that you'll get terrain generation issues like this, where it'll just have like a massive cliff, or there will be some drastic change in the world, and I don't know, it's just really cool to look at. Making sure I hit up all my potions before we go in. And we are so in, but yeah, there's a lot of these guys, so I think diamond armor was a total necessity, and I think we can all agree on that. I've never actually explored an ocean monument before, so I was assuming there'd be like, some designated pathway since you can't really mine. But no, there's nothing. Like it's just a bunch of dead ends, which kind of sucks. That's really unfortunate too, because I think Prismarine has to be like one of my favorite blocks in the entire game. Like Dark Prismarine, Prismarine Bricks, normal Prismarine, Sea Lanterns, like they're all just good blocks to use. And I also didn't think about what I was doing because I kind of just blocked myself in with mining fatigue. So yeah, we're gonna be stuck here for a while. Oh my goodness, this takes forever. I know there's probably a way better way to do this, but dude, there's like 4 of these guys. There's 4 Elder Guardians and you have to do this for each one? Yeah, that's fun. Definitely pays to have better gear and resources here because, oh my goodness, I went from full health to half health so quickly. You know, I honestly thought these guys were going to be a little bit more annoying to fight, but they just kind of let you walk right up and hit them, so it kind of works out in our favor. I'm sorry, they're able to hit you from the complete other side of the ocean monument? Really? That's... wow, okay, that's annoying. Oh my goodness, we're out. No, 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 no. I'm not doing that again. No. That was... if I do that again, I'm gonna have a better plan, because that... we were fully stacked, and that was even... like, that didn't even go how we wanted it to go entirely. Oh my goodness. Making my way back to the base right now, and you can see where the old generation for the ocean ends and the new one starts, and it's kind of cool. Alright. I'm gonna do the thing where I build a storage shed. It's a necessity. Making sure to stick with the spruce and birch theme, though. It's a pretty nice theme. I like it. Unfortunately, we still don't have a lot of spruce, and look, there's only so much I can do about planting trees around the base, because I just don't have that much room. Which means we're going to have to venture out for most of our wood, but that's news to literally nobody, because we were doing that already, so. On an unrelated note, though, I think the old achievements menu, honestly, I think I prefer this. I think advancements probably fit with the game more in terms of progression and what you actually do, but I don't know, the old achievement system just had a lot of charm to it. Little builds like the storage shed are nice because you don't have to take a whole lot of time or brain power to make them. It's just kind of like a thing that you make, and I'm not going to say it looks the best or anything, but I don't know. It's just nice to make something that doesn't matter all that much. And it is very nice to have roofs looking a lot better since you can place stairs upside down now, so I don't have to use blocks to fill in the weird gap in between each stair. I don't know why I thought this, but I really did think you could put chests like right next to each other in modern versions, but yeah, no, that is not the case. So we'll just have to put them on the sides of the room, which is fine either way. Not super big or flashy, but what is here, I can say for sure looks good. With us now having a dedicated storage room though, I did decide to spend a lot of day 61 just moving stuff back and forth because, oh my goodness, the chests I have now are so unorganized and so filled, I gotta just move all of it. The missing texture though can stay. That one's pretty unique, so I'm gonna let that stay in my main chest. And with everything else being done that we wanted to do before, aka exploring the ocean monument and building a storage closet, we can now actually get back to work on the stable for the animals that I've been meaning to finish up. And now that I'm actually placing everything down and getting it built, I can definitively say that only having 4 pins is a much better idea than having 8, because oh my goodness, I don't think I could even fill 8. I had a flower in my room before, I don't know why it was invisible. Probably because of the transition from roses to poppies, but I can't say for sure, that's just my best guess. Working on the roof for the stable, and I don't think this roof is going to be very complex. It's certainly not going to be like everything else I've built. It's probably just going to be flat, and I'm going to make it out of spruce and birch again, but I don't know. We'll go from there, we'll lay out the foundation, and we'll see what happens. I do like this little front piece idea, though, that I have, because it kind of makes up for the lack of depth and complexity of the actual roof itself. For some reason, there's just a bug where tools don't make a sound when they break, and I think it's actually happened before. It happened with an iron pickaxe I had, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird how they don't make a sound. Okay. But despite our axe breaking, we now have the shape of the front piece done, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to try to fill it in with birch and logs, and then more birch planks, and I think that'll look good, so nothing too crazy, just adds a little depth. Unfortunately, because we're in 1.12, that means we can no longer just place down logs and they will always be facing upwards. So I'm going to have to just look up and place these and look down and place them whenever I need to do that. And I don't know, it just kind of sucks. I like them always facing upwards. Final product, nothing too bland, but nothing too crazy. I probably could have spiced it up in hindsight with a different type of wood at the very center, but I think it's fine as it is. As for the actual roof itself, I did go with this kind of spruce eye design. Thought about putting glowstone in the center so that way the eye would be glowing, but that just doesn't match with the slab, so we'll just, I don't know, we'll leave it as it is. I think that's good. added a little stair buffer to the roof because it just looks a little bit too abrupt having the full blocks and then the slabs just showing blatantly, so the buffer kind of evens that out a little bit. And now's the part where we actually fill the pins that we built for the animals, so we're going to do that, and that actually didn't take too long because we have a ton of cows around us, so. Unfortunately, I don't actually think there are any sheep, which is like the one animal I would really like to have because wool is a really good building block, and it's just great for decoration, so unfortunately we're not going to have any of those, but we'll have literally every other animal. Also, is it just me, or do pigs move abnormally fast? Like, I swear, these guys will actually sprint at you to get what you're holding. And I mean, it makes sense. It's the only other animal you can ride besides horses in, like, 1.8 and before, which is why saddles were a thing. But now that we've got that done, I'm thinking we actually start in the enchantment room, and I think it'd be pretty cool to not build a dedicated room for the enchantment room, rather have it sticking out the side of the mountain that I'm looking at. I think that'd actually look pretty cool, and it would just kind of hang in the background. Technically, you could look at this as like a double or triple positive, because not only do we have it figured out where we want to build it, we don't have to build it outside, and we get a ton of cobblestone for actually mining all this area out in the mountain, so it's great for us. And with the way the mountain is, I don't think I'll have the room be perfectly centered, if that makes any sense. The enchantment table definitely isn't going to be in the center of the room. I'd probably actually put it in the corner, if anything. What I do know, though, is that I would like to use blue glazed terracotta for the floor, because I swear I don't see anyone ever use that block, and the glazed terracotta blocks are actually really cool in my opinion, so we're going to go ahead and use that. I reckon 5 stacks of clay is enough, right? I do have to wait for all of this to smelt, so while we're waiting on that, we're going to go back to working on the enchantment room. I'm thinking for the enchantment room, we're going to have a spruce log border going around the entire room, with also another wall pattern going in between the top and the bottom border, so we'll see how that looks. Also deciding against having a definitive end of the border because it just looks kind of weird, so the oak is really just a placeholder for now. I definitely don't like this, so it's good to know what we like and what we don't like, but this is definitely not it. We're going to go with a stripe on the wall, but unfortunately we can't do a straight diagonal line because that's just a checkerboard pattern because of how this game works. So we're going to have to go with like a zigzag, if that makes any sense. You'll see it. I also think the main color for the room being blue would be a good idea, so that would probably work a little bit better with stone bricks as opposed to oak wood. Wait, our brains are actually thinking. The lapis and the stone bricks actually look really good. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of lapis, so we're not able to finish that up right now, but in due time, we will. And while we're here, I'm just going to go ahead and mine out the floor, so by the time we get ready to do that, it's already good to go. Starting day 69 off in the mines. I need more lapis, and, well, there's only one place you go to get that, so. And man, let me tell you, I found lapis in this clip, but I'm really struggling to actually find any, like, substantial amount of lapis, which is kind of strange, because usually I swear I find a lot of it. It would also probably help if I wasn't strip mining. That'd probably be a good idea, because this is good for diamonds, but probably not for lapis. And speaking of which, we actually found diamonds, but, I'm not complaining, just, you know, we don't really need these right now, but I'll take them all the same. Bro, like, even when we find lapis, it's like a vein of 2, and I know you get, like, 16 or 8 lapis per ore, but, like, in the grand scheme of things, we need a lot, and this is not enough. One thing I don't like about the new textures is that you can definitely see it here, but the mossy cobblestone is just not as vibrant as it used to be, and I really don't like that. It's a little bit more grayscale, I guess you could say, but the green is definitely toned down. I don't like that. And we're out of the mines. Mined straight up into a lake, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to the base, so we'll be good. And while I'm thinking about it, we're going to go ahead and mine up this soul sand, because we really don't even need another wart farm. We have, like, so much. We're not ever going to be able to use all of it. At least in 100 days. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and mine this up. This is the great thing about glazed terracotta is that it forms like a pattern or like it forms a bigger picture, if that makes any sense. When you have like 4 blocks all angled correct, and it just, I don't know. It's always been a cool block to me. And fortunately, it did not take us very long to fill out the entire floor. I thought that was going to take a lot longer, but yeah, it's almost done in one night. Speaking of night, we're going to go ahead and try to farm some endermen. If I can find any mobs to spawn, good lord. Okay, I know it's sunrise, but I feel like mobs should be spawning and they're just not. Like, this is a completely open desert and there's just no mobs. And I have the game on normal mode, so there should definitely be spawns. And in the same way we're using glazed terracotta, I would actually also like to use concrete, because I feel like I don't see a lot of people use concrete, even though it's probably like one of the most popular decoration blocks. Oh, yeah, right. I'd also like to use blue stained glass. I don't know that I'm going to use it, but we're going to have it just in case, because I think that'd be cool to build with. So I think we're going to have a balcony, sort of. So it's going to be like a curved area. The enchantment room just isn't going to be flat in the mountain. There's going to be like a sort of curve to it, so it kind of pokes out a little bit. Also forgot that logs face the way you place them, so I'm going to have to make another layer of dirt so we can orientate the logs right. We're going to go ahead and match the rest of the base in terms of aesthetics, so we're going to have spruce and birch. Spruce for the border of the balcony, and then we're going to have birch on the inside. I wanted to mix it up a little bit, so we're going to have logs in the middle as well, instead of just planks. Dude, is my game geeked? Like, there's just no monsters spawning. Wait, this is insane. I've never seen this happen. This is... what? Okay. While we were doing all that, though, we had our glass smelting, so that's good to go. Okay, so now the main issue is figuring out where I'm going to use the stained glass at, because I don't think we need to use it at the front, because we have a balcony. That'd just be kind of weird. But I don't know if I want to use it in the roof. I don't know. We'll figure this out. So, idea. I said I don't know if I want to use it in the roof. We're going to see how that looks. I'm going to have lava behind the stained glass, so that's going to be our light source, and we'll see if that looks good. Starting to notice a trend where we just mine a lot of sand as of late. Fortunately, we don't have to go out of our way to get any gravel, because we already have a lot. Our main issue, though, is going to be blue dye, even though we get 8 concrete per thing, so we're good in that sense, but we just don't have a lot of lapis. Alright, yeah, we're definitely good on concrete. We have enough for the roof, but I still just want to see and test how this looks, because I don't know if this is my final idea. I don't know why I'm putting all this glass down. Like, I'm going to have to go back and break all of this, and it doesn't drop, so if I just don't like this idea, then we just wasted all that glass. I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's not my favorite. The lava just doesn't shine enough through the glass for me to like it as much as I thought I would, so I don't think we're going to go with this. With the lava idea and the roof not coming to fruition, we're going to go ahead and just resort to glowstone because that kind of fits the vibe of the room. So, yeah, we need some more of that. Making my way back to the enchantment room, and I just genuinely got jump scared by a Vindicator that was sitting on my roof of the cafe. Like, I didn't know that Vindicators would just spawn with wandering villagers. Getting rid of this guy now because I know he's going to stay up here the entire time if I don't get rid of him. And there we go. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. We got to use obsidian, we got to use concrete, and we got glowstone. All blocks I like to use, but I don't get to use too terribly often. You know, we had to tit up our room a little bit with the banner we just got. And speaking of banner, we just got the bad omen effect. So I'm going to try to start a raid, hence why I have all these potions and whatnot in my inventory, but I don't know if it's going to work. So we'll see, and we'll be prepared if it does work. Alright, so apparently old villages do not start raids, which kind of sucks. I was hoping they did, but it's fine. That honestly, I was expecting that just a little bit, but I was totally prepared if it did. I cannot lie. I cannot lie. The enchantment room does look pretty cool from the outside with how it's just an open sort of room. Finally getting around to putting the enchantment table in the enchantment room, because, you know, that's kind of the whole idea of the room, and it actually fits a lot better than I anticipated. I thought it was going to look a little shoehorned in with how we set up the room, but no, it actually fits nicely. And now that we're done with the inside of the room, I can start laying out the foundation for the staircase that's going to be leading up to the balcony. I kind of like laying everything out with the dirt first, so I know where I'm going to put the actual blocks, like the stairs and whatnot. It just makes it a little easier, and it kind of, you know, it's a non-permanent solution. You know, it's a shame the Wandering Trader kind of sucks. Like, it's a really cool concept. Did the items he always has for trade, though, are just awful, like, all the time. I'm also trying really hard to make this staircase kind of bend so it flows a little bit naturally, instead of, you know, just having a 90-degree turn super abruptly. Okay, so somehow I managed to make it to where one, like, area of the stairs has a wider border than the other area, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know how I did that, but we'll get that fixed. And the way I'm going to go about fixing that is moving over the entire bottom half of the staircase by 1 block. Unfortunately, we're out of spruce though, and we kind of need that, so we're going to have to go venture out and get some more. And I am not bone mealing the same 3 trees with, like, the 2 bones that I have right next to my base, so we're wandering out. It really may not be a big deal to you guys, but, like, having the world generation issues like this, where you can see the clear difference in generation across the versions, I don't know, something about that is really cool to me. Fortunately, I didn't have to travel too far out, so it really didn't take a whole lot of time, and we're back to working on the staircase by the end of day 78. I know I said I was trying to get the staircase to bend smoothly, but for the life of me, I cannot manage that with this first curve, so we might just have to leave this as a sharp turn. And of course, now that we're actually polishing up the staircase, we have to fill in the bottom just a little bit so it doesn't look like straight up stairs on dirt. I also don't want to leave this area floating, so we're going to fill in this area with some fences just so it looks like it has a slight amount of support. And the good thing about this is that it's not a huge area and it's not shoehorned in, it's just kind of there, and it kind of works. Almost just died in the silliest way possible, but we got saved by the water below us. Oh yeah, the final product without all the dirt plus the staircase looks so much better than it did before. Still making pumpkin pie, and it's kind of unfortunate that we have all the pumpkins from pre-1.14 saved up, because we can't use carved pumpkins in the crafting recipe, so they're just kind of sitting there. Alright, and we're back in the mines, and we're in a mine shaft. Surprise to nobody, but it's day 80, so I'm going to try to get some resources before we hit the update on day 81. And the next update we're going to is the nether update, which is kind of why we're just burning time mining. And with that, that means we can also start farming ender pearls, because I'd rather just spend a day or two farming in the nether than spend like 5 days farming in the overworld. That just sounds a lot better. But it's day 81, so you know what that means. We're going to the nether! Oh, you already know. On a more serious note, however, I tried going the way we usually explore, but thankfully there's a whole region of the nether that we haven't explored yet, and it's on the literal opposite side of the portal, so we're good to go, and I'm not going to keep going the way we've already been. Given that we're going to the nether though, and it's going to be pretty dangerous, I figured we'd, actually enchant our gear, since we have 42 levels and an enchantment table at our disposal. Holy enchantment roll, we actually got fortune on our pickaxe. That is so good for us. I actually like to go with unbreaking because it's just going to preserve our gear a little bit longer, so I won't need to worry about diamonds anytime soon. But we're actually also getting some really good rolls with the enchantments because we're getting fire protection as well, and I will absolutely take that because I really hate blazes and lava. But with any good successful nether trip, that also means we're going to need like 30 obsidian for 3 backup portals in case we get stuck or lost or anything of the sorts. Fortunately for us, that isn't taking very long, or at least not as long as it usually would, because we have efficiency on our pickaxe now, so. And this is what I meant when I said we have an entire area of the nether that we haven't explored, because usually we go in the direction of the nether fortress that we spawn on top of, but we haven't been this way yet, so we should get some new nether biomes this way. And what do you know, we didn't have to wait very long to find new stuff at all. Dude, the enchantments are coming in clutch, because I'm just not taking any damage from this lava/fire at all. Like, this is literally tickle damage. Usually flat platforms with half a biome on them don't usually generate in the nether, so I'm gonna assume that's because of how old this nether is, or at least, how many versions it's been updated through. But speaking of biomes, we found a warped forest, so our lives have just gotten way easier, and the Enderman grind is not going to take very long now. The only super bad part about farming Endermen right here is that they will just teleport away onto some block that I can't see, so I will just occasionally lose Endermen for no reason. And it also takes a lot of me running around back and forth to get Endermen to spawn, but that's okay because at least they spawn pretty fast here. Alright, we got our 12 Ender Pearls in, so I don't have to worry about being here any longer, so we can go ahead and leave. Fortunately, I had the foresight to actually make a decent path back to the portal, and the path to the warped forest isn't very complex anyway, it's basically a straight shot with a left turn, so it was really easy getting back. Totally forgot I had 3 ender pearls just sitting in my chest, so even if a couple break on us, we should be good. And now that we're done with the ender pearl grind, I can finally get to finishing up the floor in the enchantment room, which, it's not that big of a deal, you can really hardly even notice it, so I kind of just put it on the back burner, especially since I made some alterations to the room after I'd finished it officially. It's really the little details that add up, because this looks so much nicer, even if the wall isn't completely finished. And holy looting, I mean, this would have been great while I was farming Enderman, but I will still take it nonetheless. Got some sweet berries while I was super far out in the nether. Made an exit portal in case you guys didn't see before, and I just brought them back here, so they're really just for decoration, but I think they look pretty good. Of course, we have to keep breeding our animals just in case we ever need some more food. In case the melons and pumpkin pie don't suffice. And we're going back to the mines because although I guess we don't need any more diamonds, we now have a fortune pickaxe, so I mean, if I can get some diamonds, then that'd be pretty nice. And unfortunately, we still have another update to go until fortune works on other ores besides, redstone, lapis, diamonds, etc. But I will appreciate the ore textures how they are. I love having a full set of enchanted diamond gear because literally nothing outside of the nether even poses a threat to us anymore. Like, we're just unstoppable. And I found a chest out and looted already. And, you know, it's no diamonds, but beggars can't be choosers, so I'll take it all the same. Hey, now that's what I'm talking about. Diamonds in the chest, let's go. And you know, if I was able to block right here, then I could have just turned around and taken no damage by holding right click, but one, I'm not using a shield, and two, I had full enchanted diamond armor, so we were good. With the amount of time we have left in the playthrough though, I would prefer to not use most of that time mining, so we're gonna go ahead and head back to the surface. Yes sirree, adding some more loot to the chest, got a decent amount of lapis and 2 more diamonds to our name. With the looting sword I have, I figured why not try to get 3 wither skulls, so we're just gonna see how long it takes. Is what I thought until I was about 5 or 6 skeletons deep and I hadn't gotten a wither skull yet, so suffice to say I think there is a much better use of our time. With the time we have left in the playthrough, I figured maybe it would be a good idea to go back to the ocean monument, because we have a better idea of how it's going to play out, and, well, we know what's going to happen now, so. But before we do that, I would like to find the end portal, just so we're not struggling and, you know, rushing all over the place to find it at the last second. Took the liberty of traveling a little farther out, because we already knew the direction the Eye of Ender was going, so I didn't want to waste any pearls, and, I mean, it's literally just a straight direction, so it doesn't hurt to just go. Hey, found a polar bear. Not that they're valuable or anything, but they're a little rare to find, especially because of the biome they're in. And apparently we already went too far out, which is kind of strange because I know it looks like it, but we really are not that far out from the base, so I guess we're good to go then. So I've been throwing the eyes, and apparently the stronghold is, like, really close to our base, which is unexpected, but I will take it. And now it's going back the way we were running before, so I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit closer to the village and start digging. Ooh, wait, found a big spawner while I was digging. I will take it. Genuinely got jump scared by a creeper. Oh my goodness. I may or may not have gotten a little distracted while I was looking for the stronghold, but I did find this super cool conjoined spawner, which is insane because I've never seen this before. What? Oh, no, no, no. You cannot tell me he hit me from that distance. No, that's a load of BS. So, are we eating or starving with this loot? Yeah, don't answer that. Alright, it's day 90. I got a little sidetracked before, but we're actually going to lock in and find the stronghold. Alright, so I'm starting to think that the stronghold did not generate where the Eyes of Ender are leading us, which is kind of unfortunate, but I have an idea. So I'm thinking we went really far in the nether for the warped forest, and I made an exit portal there. That being said, we can go to that exit portal, and we will generate new chunks, and there should be a new stronghold, so we'll be able to find that, and we should be good to go. And this might be a grass is green take, but I don't like how the new ores look. Like, I don't like how they look. I think they look the best when they all look similar. Still working on potions, and swiftness is just going to help us get from point A to point B just a little bit faster. And while I was thinking about it, I did get around to making item frames, so I can now display my gapple and, you know, a diamond, which is nice because I like decorating my house. Of course, for the final fight, we have to make sure we have good food, because I'm not eating, like, 10 melons just to start regenerating. I'm not doing all that. We need good, substantial food that's going to actually get us back in the game. Speaking of which, that means I actually have an excuse to use the smoker I put in the cafe. So game plan, we're traveling by another, so of course I'm going to want obsidian, but I would also like to have a portal leading directly to the stronghold, so I'm going to build one when I get there. And I do plan on having a path that just completely skips all the nether BS and just goes straight above and straight to the portal. So we're going to have a lot of cobblestone just to build with. And here we go. This shouldn't take too long to get where we need to be. Again, with how we set up the path going straight to the portal and the warped forest, we don't have to worry about how we're going to get there or recognizing things to get there. It's just really easy. Alright, moment of truth, let's see where this goes. Oh, I thought that went back through the portal for a second, but no, we're good. Not that we're going to explore it or visit it, but we did find an ocean monument on the way to the stronghold, so it's pretty interesting. Really just going in the general direction that the Eye of Ender led us in, so I'm going to dock here for the night, and we will pick back up in the morning. Making my way through, and I found a desert village, which I didn't expect at all. And I will definitely take this time to explore it, because they actually have chests and good trades and stuff that's actually valuable now. Speaking of actually valuable stuff, they have a ton of hay bales, and that means I'm never going to have to worry about food again, really. Also, can we just take a second to acknowledge how overpowered drowns are with tridents? Like, I have to move so much to avoid these guys. I don't even have to move this much with skeletons, and they do so much damage. Like, this is insane. All that for a Lure 3 fishing rod, but that's honestly not bad. I will take it. Oh, okay, we're going back the way we came from. This is good. That means we've passed up the stronghold already. Yeah, no wonder we passed it up, because it almost blends in with the environment, but holy, I have never seen a stronghold generate so perfectly underwater like this. And we're starting off strong with a library, and we get enchantment books from the library? Sheesh, wait, we're kinda locked. It actually didn't take long to find the end portal either, so we can just go ahead and make the nether portal and connect that portal and the portal back to our base, and we will be good to go. Even though we don't have a ton of time, I did take a second or two to look around, find a chest, maybe two, and, you know, that's the fun of the stronghold, is finding loot in the stronghold, because it's a massive structure. Well, we've done everything we really need to do. We looted up, found where the portal is, so all we have to do now is connect the portal to our base in this portal, and we will be good to go. Don't mind me, just brute forcing my way through the nether, building straight to the X, Y, and Z coordinates. Riveting gameplay, but I do suppose that is the price you pay for ease of transportation. Alright, we are exactly where we need to be. Now we just have to figure out how we're gonna get down from here. Definitely had my balls in my throat, you know, riding straight off the edge, but thankfully we made it just fine. But with all that being said and done, we are really ready to fight the dragon at this point. We just, you know, gotta get everything sorted out with our inventory. I'm hoping to get infinity on my bow before we go fight the dragon, just so I don't have to worry about arrows, but we are not getting that, which kinda sucks. I'm a little tight on levels at the moment as well, so I think I'll enchant a book or two and just try to keep rolling for infinity. Unless I don't get it, then I'll just take the highest enchantment I can. It's a sharpness 3 book. I can't really pass that up, so I was going to lowball these enchantments, but yeah, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and take what we get. And holy enchantments, power 4, punch 2, and flame? Yeah, I mean, this only gets better if we had an infinity on it, but I will take all of these. These are, holy, this is a great bow. And unfortunately, our petrified oak slab now has textures and is an official item instead of just being a normal oak slab with stone properties, but at least it's an officially recognized block. Still making potions day 98, and it doesn't hurt to have regeneration, since in this version the dragon actually fights you and shoots fireballs at you instead of just flying around and looking pretty. Of course, we need night vision to, you know, make the viewing experience a little bit better, make it easier for you guys to look at. And some might say that we have too many potions, but I really don't think there's such a thing. So, yeah, we have a lot of potions, I can't even lie. Fortunately for us, we have a looting sword, and I need feathers, so I'm going to start butchering some of these chickens so I can, you know, actually get feathers, because that's how you get feathers, you kill chickens. And we need arrows, in case you haven't noticed. So I do think a stack and a half of arrows is going to be just enough for this fight, especially because there's not as many pillars as there are in 1.0, so we should be fine. And I don't intend on, you know, burning a stack and a half of arrows on like 8 pillars. That just doesn't sound realistic, so day 99. We've got everything we need, inventory sorted out, all the arrows we could ever need. We're good to go, so let's go ahead and make our way to the stronghold. Man, I am so glad I made this path leading straight to the stronghold, because this is so much easier than trying to run all the way through the nether. And we're at the stronghold, so not a whole lot for us to do now. Just take it easy, pop a chill pill, and just wait for day 100. The big day 100. Let's go ahead and pop in these Eyes of Ender and get this show on the road. You already know what's going down. Not the most favorable spawn, I won't lie. We could potentially get knocked off and die, but I don't think that's going to happen, thankfully. And I was right on the money with the amount of arrows I needed, because the amount of pillars in this version is way less than 1.0, like significantly less. This fight is a lot more organized, a lot more contained, if you will, less open, so we're good. Fell off my pillar like an idiot here and didn't land in the water because it didn't reach the ground yet, which is the whole reason why I put it down, but we are fine. We almost died, but we're fine. There we go. Actually hit it this time. Let's go. Not even halfway into the fight and we've almost died 2 times. The dragon actually hits you in this version, so I low-key got juggled. Dude, the dragon hits like a truck in this version. Like, I'm just taking so much damage from fall damage and the actual, like, hit itself, which is insane. Wait, call me John Archer the way I'm tagging this guy with my arrows. Thankfully, in this version, the dragon death is a lot more cinematic and less anticlimactic like it is in 1.0, where there's just no sound. And with that being said, we had finished the 100 days and beaten the game at the same time. Of course, we can't forget to grab the dragon egg. That's like an unwritten rule that we have to abide by. But with everything being said and done, we put the dragon egg in our room as a nice last little decoration and walked out onto our balcony just to end off the 100 days officially. So, what are my thoughts after 100 days of so many different versions? Well, I can't say I would explicitly recommend this to anyone. I think going through each of the versions is a good idea, but 10 days is just not enough time for each version. Sometimes you just gotta slow down and take it easy, right? So, but I'm sure if you've sat here and watched 100 days of this, then you've already made up your mind on how you're gonna play. So, you do you, and either way, have a good time. It's fun. So, I appreciate y'all so much for watching, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.